Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 15, Episode number 3,380. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. I'll tell you today it is a random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: the best foods to eat watching sports and the 10 most stoned states. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, Men's Room Shout of the Day, funable listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
We're going to join. All right, here we go. Australian surfer bitten by a great white shark says it was like being hit by a truck. Meanwhile, 30 Miss Thailand contestants are too heavy for a suspension bridge, and it collapses as they all fall into muck. Man orders inflatable Grinch, shocked when it arrives and it's 35 feet high. To Florida, where a fella named Bud Light Mike shows us why he's that kind of guy. And a man attacks a bear because the bear had its dog in its mouth. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, last week on this very program, we told you about a Florida man who had to save his dog. He jumped into a pond to pull his 3-month-old puppy out of the jaws of an alligator. Not only did he rescue the dog, but he did it without dropping the cigar out of his mouth. Now, to be fair, it was a teeny tiny alligator, but still. Not to be outdone, a man in California, he rescued his dog from a bear. And not a teeny tiny little bear, but a 350-pound bear. That didn't stop this guy from tackling it, choking it, and punching the bear until the dog was okay. On the other end of the spectrum, we have a dog in Australia who actually saved its owner from a shark. That's when you definitely say, who's a good boy? Now, you know what animal no one wants to mess with? It can be other animals, people. No, killer whales. If a killer whale snatches your dog, well, kiss that dog goodbye. And those creatures that have to share the oceans with killer whales, why don't you take a page from pilot whales? Researchers have discovered that these smaller, softer whales, they avoid getting eaten by orcas by disguising themselves as other orcas. It's kind of like wearing a jersey of a team you hate because you're going to watch your team in the other team's stadium, and the other team's fans are made up of killer whales. Just saying, seems awfully smart to me. I would do the same. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across, stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your scintillating answer, we'll share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show, the random question. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. Text 77999 and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Your home equity. It could be an untapped opportunity instead of an untouchable asset. Introducing HomeTap. HomeTap is an investor, not a lender. They give you cash in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Use it to pay off debt, make renovations, fund a business, or just live a better life. There's no interest or monthly payments to worry about. HomeTap. Get more from home ownership. Get more from life. Subject to eligibility, terms and conditions apply. Visit HomeTap.com to apply in minutes. That's HomeTap.com.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Over Joe's and away we go. Welcome to Season 15, Episode number 3,380. What a large and a charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. As once again, we'll do Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. A couple of good categories today. As we have been watching a lot of live sports, it seems like the sports is one good thing that's been happening in our COVID lives.
Yeah.
Tons of games on different days. Hell, Sounders are on tonight.
Sounders on tonight.
It'll be spring training baseball, NFL football, college hoops, all kinds of sports going on. So what we have for you is the 10 best foods to eat when watching sports.
All right.
And then we have the most stoned states in America. Yes, they go hand in hand, but they did it on a system that was somewhat of a mathematical formula based on do they have medical use in the state or recreational use. And then they took the average use of cannabis for 100,000 people in the state.
Okay. All right.
And then, of course, the sales, the recreational sales, and then with all that information, they came up with a stoner index. So to give you an idea, some of the states out there have a stoner index below 1%, where some states have a stoner index way above 50%.
I think I can guess 4 of those.
The ones that don't have a lot of people.
That are, I mean, I'm going to guess Utah might be in the 1% or lower.
They don't do as bad as you think. Some of the states are just a bit shocking on the fact that they don't make the top 10. And the one that was glaring to me that I thought, wow, that's interesting, was Hawaii. Because before all this stuff started, it just seemed like if you were going to go to one place in the United States and be able to get some weed, it was always Hawaii.
Yeah, but I don't think it's everybody there. You know, the people that smoke weed, that's a great place to be. But a lot of the people I met, they have more of a Kentucky sensibility. You know what I mean? Which kind of shocked me. Like, bro, there's colorful birds singing music. Get high.
Yeah, I mean,
what are you doing?
What are you worried about?
Don't let nature go to waste and be sober.
Exactly. So we've got the top 10 stoner states in the U.S., and we've got the best foods to eat watching sports. Coming up with Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. And today is the day that we do our random question. 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello to Daniel. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Not as happy as you, Daniel, but we're doing pretty good for a Monday. Thanks for asking. We appreciate it. Okay, Daniel, let's go with this one. What would you say that you have bought based on someone else's recommendation? It could be a lot of different things. In other words, maybe it's an appliance that they enjoy, like, hey, man, you're going to get a vacuum. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to say bye, Dice.
Maybe it's deodorant because your girlfriend thinks you stink.
Yeah, we could debate toilet paper all day long. Ted, first thing when I walked in today, Ted said, have you had the wings yet at Wingstop? No, I have not had the wings at Wingstop, but guess what I'm going to do now? I'm going to go try the wings at Wingstop because if Ted says the wings are good and they're crispy and they're delicious, I know Ted knows wings.
Sure.
I'm going to give him a shot. So what have you bought based on someone's recommendation?
It's actually my current car. I have a 2002 Honda Accord. I used to have a 2002 Volkswagen Jetta, but once the Jetta goes down, the price to fix it is really expensive. So I decided to figure out the better car, and the mechanic who was working on my Jetta recommended the Honda, and I'm like, yeah, sure. When this finally bites the dust, I'll go do that.
Are you particularly partial to the year 2002?
It just happens to be the car that that I happen to like. So it's not that the year. It's just it was there, available, cheap, and I could afford it at the time. So.
Now let me ask you this: when a mechanic recommends a car, right? Now you have to get a feel for the character of this mechanic, because either he doesn't want to see you as often or he wants to see you more. Did you have any reason to think maybe he's trying to get me this because I'm going to be a more repeat customer?
Well, actually, as I said, because I was driving a Honda, because I was driving a Jetta, and once those things go down, it's just a steamroll of things that start going wrong. He actually said, it's one of the cheaper cars to repair, and as long as you keep up with the maintenance and everything, you'll actually be out here. And that's why I really liked my local mechanic. They were very honest with me, great prices, and they never led me astray.
Could be, Daniel, that he wanted to see you less. But actually what he was telling you was correct. You know what I mean? Like, honest to God, I've had older model Volkswagens. The problem is just the expense of the parts and then the expense of the hourly, time that it takes to put those parts in. I mean, it's almost like they row the parts in a boat from Germany. And when you get them, they're just expensive. Doesn't matter if it's a 2002 or a 1985. You know what I mean? It's just.
I'm just glad you had an honest mechanic, because there's certain professions I assume they're telling me the truth, but like for retail purposes, like go to any store where they have clothes, try on anything, and whoever the salesperson is, they're going to tell you that you look great. Maybe you need a different size, but either way, you look great in it, even though you know goddamn well you do not.
Sure. Now those diesels,
you're not pulling that long.
Those Volkswagen diesels from back in the day, they'll obviously go for a million miles or so. The reason we asked, what have you bought based on someone else's recommendation? This is kind of crazy, and it's because of George Clooney. He recently revealed that he's been using a Flowbee to cut his hair for more than 20 years. The vice president of Flowbee now says that sales have gone up tenfold over the past week. They have completely sold out of Flowbees. If you want to buy a Flowbee right now, you cannot buy one.
It's because it's George Clooney. It has nothing, and look, you're not going to look like George Clooney because you use a Flowbee. George Clooney looks like George Clooney. What if it were, Clint Howard, assuming he had hair, or who's the little pasty dude from SNL?
Hell no.
Davidson.
No.
If he said, oh, yeah, dude, I cut my hair in a Flowbee, their sales would have plummeted tenfold.
I don't know. I think you get a Flowbee, you look like George Clooney.
You think that's it?
Yep.
You just use a Flowbee and bang, presto, chicks think you are smashing.
The president says due to the, quote, Clooney effect, it'll be at least 2 to 4 weeks before they can get supply back up to meet demand. Company has never worked with George Clooney. They didn't even know he was a customer, but obviously they are thrilled, and they're planning on sending him a thank you package, by the way.
Because that's what he needs.
Well, I mean, Clooney, when he decided, he said, basically this is what Clooney said. He said, me and my buddy Randy, we went to Mexico, and we spent a month down there trying every tequila that we could find. Mm-hmm. And we got hammered every single day. Sometimes we would go to multiple distillers.
Sure.
We tried all the different tequila. And there was one guy who had a small batch tequila that they loved. They said they wanted to go in with him because that was the best tequila. He said that they had sampled over what he estimated to be 200 different tequilas. They found the one that they liked the most. They bought it. They put their name on it. And then they started to market it in the United States. They started to, make wholesale batches of this stuff. Then they sold that.
But you don't need a sales pitch for that. It's tequila. The Flowbee. Right. Now, here's the difference.
But look. Sammy Hagar can tell you to buy tequila,
The reason it worked is because Flowbee does not pay George Clooney. Because if George Clooney showed up on a commercial for Flowbee and said, I use Flowbee, not a single person would believe it. But the fact that, unsolicited...
You're right.
Right? Because George Clooney does not use a frickin' Flowbee.
No.
You wouldn't buy it because he's in the commercial, just like, Nespresso. I'm not going to buy a coffee machine because he and Danny DeVito like it. I don't care. On the flip side, when it's unsolicited, and you say, yeah, I use a Flowbee, now people are... I mean, look, if he said, I use a Peloton, that's how I keep my body in shape. Not that they're hurting, but their sales will go up. If you paid him to speak on his behalf, you're like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, right? I feel the same thing about when people go on hype movies. Let's say Clooney's got a new movie out. Of course he's going to sit
he's going to say it's fantastic.
Or Kimmel or Fallon or whatever and say, this is a great movie. We had a blast making it, blah, blah, blah,
great
blah.
Great times, happy behind the scenes. But honestly, if he came on and said, look, my movie sucked, but you know what? I saw this other movie, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm inclined to once you pay someone, I know it sounds horrible, but it's like, are you telling the truth or are you just saying it because you get paid? Now, some people I believe when Whoopi Goldberg was slinging Entenmann's cakes. Like, I believe she's eating Intimates cakes. At the same time, she was pitching Weight Watchers. I wasn't sure.
Like George Zimmer. Remember when he was doing his thing?
What was his thing?
He was the CEO
The
of
Men's Warehouse.
Men's Warehouse.
But he owned the joint.
He did own the joint, but he also said, I'm also a customer. Not only am I a client, but I'm a
No.
No, you're confusing that with Hair Club for Men.
Yeah.
See?
George Zimmer just said you're gonna look great.
His thing was
I guarantee. Okay, I can live with that. That's fine. You're the CEO. You're saying to guarantee. The Hair Club guy, he was like Hair Club for Men, and I'm not just the president. Right.
I'm also a
client.
Right.
Well, Men's Warehouse, too, you like that guy giving you the sales pitch, but I would also say their customer service goes a long way.
Their customer service goes a real long way, but it owned up to what he said the experience would be like. But I don't know, man. For me, look, I've only seen one actor go on a late night TV show because they had to do the rounds and promote their movie. I've only seen one actor who openly said, I hate this movie, and if you don't see it, it's not going to hurt my feelings. And it was years ago. Jamie Foxx had just won his Oscar for Ray. They had filmed a movie, maybe it was called Stealth or something. He was like a fighter pilot, whatever the case. He had filmed that movie before Ray came out, okay? Because he's still trying to break into acting on a big scale. The movie sucked so bad that the movie studio didn't want to put it on. They don't want their name attached. It was just that bad. Well, he wins an Oscar.
Was it as bad as the Christmas movie you watched last night?
Nothing. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Nothing is as bad as what I had to watch last night. But, so, the thing is, the studio didn't even want to put out the movie Stealth, all right? But he won his Oscar, and now Jamie Foxx is the guy that everyone talks to. I think it may have been Letterman or something, but he shows up on the late night show, and they ask him about it, and he's like, look, man, it's not good. It's a really terrible movie. And then they went to show a clip of the movie, and he wasn't trying to be funny, but he kind of buried his face behind his hand. Like, he was embarrassed for you to see it. And he was right. The movie flopped. It was awful. That is the only actor I've ever seen tell you, I'm here to promote a product that I pray to God you have nothing to do with. So this movie I had to watch last night, trying to be decent. It's the holidays.
It's family movie night, Steve.
Once you hit December 1st, kids get real excited about Christmas, right? The countdown officially begins December. Son kept saying, can we watch this movie called, Christmas Buddies or Santa Buddies? I think it's Christmas Buddies. Right, I've never heard of it.
What was it on?
It was on demand. This cost me money. So yeah. Blew it off for a couple of days. Last night, it's family movie night. We gather around, and this movie comes on. Now, he has been talking about this movie for 4 days. I know he's going to be happy. As I explained to Miles, like any Christmas movie, it involves Santa Claus. What I did not know, but according to this movie, Santa Claus also has a sidekick who is a dog, and that dog's name is Santa Paws. And Santa Paws has a young pup that is his kid.
Puppy Paws.
But I think so. I think that may have been his name.
The feisty son of Santa Paws.
No, he's feisty son of a bitch. Yeah. This movie involves like 5 puppy yellow lads, but they all talk. They're all different. They sing. I could not believe how long this movie was. Let me just put it this way. If you're a parent and your kid wants to watch a Christmas movie, and they ask, is it Santa Buddies or Christmas?
It's Santa Buddies.
Santa Buddies, say no.
Or let them watch it on their own.
Right. Do not sit through this. Dude, I've told Miles, and this is bad, this is a feel-good Christmas movie, or at least that's what it's supposed to be. And by the end of the movie, I was actually in a bad mood because I hated it so much.
The movie didn't end.
It just didn't end. Ted, I cannot explain to you.
I'm just laughing. It's just hilarious. Literally just a bunch of dogs.
How do they set up? What's their synopsis for this pile of trash?
Butterball, B-Dog, Rosebud, Buddha, and Mudbud?
You said Buddha was a real laid-back hippie dog?
Buddha was the dog that talked like this. B-Dog had a diamond-encrusted bee necklace around his neck, all right? And they use kids' voices for these dogs, and this was starting to piss me off, too. So it's kids' voices, which are already shrill and awful enough. But B-Dog would be like the rap star among it.
All right.
But just a little faux shizzle. This stuff's off the chain. And I'm like, I'm seriously, I'm going to kill someone.
Well, they returned for a fantastic festive journey to the magical world of the North Pole when Puppy Paws, the feisty son of Santa Paws, forgets the true meaning of the season. Oh, I see. The buddies must remind him that Christmas is not about what you get, it's about what you give.
Did you take that away?
You don't look like you got the message, bro.
Yeah. No, I got the message. I got the message.
You sure?
Yay.
It's about giving.
Merry Christmas.
See, I think all those
Jesus
movies should be
Christ.
no more than an hour and 15 minutes.
Dude, not even an hour.
I think
15.
they should have a cutoff on it.
It was unbelievable. If the parents are watching, you should almost have like a decision, all right? So you're going to on-demand this movie, and it says, are the parents watching with you? You get the abbreviated version. If kids are watching it on their own, then all 2 hours of this garbage. I could not believe
All right, how long do you think it was?
All right.
He said it never ended.
In my mind, it was 7 hours, but I'm going to say an hour and a half.
I'll say, just based on how painful it was that he told me, I'll say it went too long. It was an hour and 50 minutes.
It's an hour and 28 minutes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, my God. I
For
swear to God.
2009.
Oh, my God. It felt like that movie went on.
But it stars George Wendt from Cheers fame.
And Christopher Lloyd. George went to Santa Claus. Christopher Lloyd's a dog catcher. I thought maybe this has some hope. This is not the best work. I'll just leave it at that. Jesus Christ, seriously. Christmas buddies. Santa buddies? What is it?
Santa buddies.
Santa buddies. If your kid wants to watch it, say no. You're welcome.
Yeah, George Wendt is about the only name I recognize in this movie. Oh, Christopher Lloyd. You said that.
Yeah.
More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Your home equity. It could be an untapped opportunity instead of an untouchable asset. Introducing HomeTap. HomeTap is an investor, not a lender. They give you cash in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Use it to pay off debt, make renovations, fund a business, or just live a better life. There's no interest or monthly payments to worry about. HomeTap. Get more from home ownership. Get more from life. Subject to eligibility. Terms and conditions apply. Visit HomeTap.com to apply in minutes. That's HomeTap.com.
The men's room is in progress. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
Attention rockaholics, we need your help as BJ and Miggs have teamed up with the Washington State Council of Firefighters in Operation Warm this holiday season. What is the deal? How about a brand new coat for a kid in need? And there are a lot of kids in this area, man, that need your help over the wintertime. The goal of theirs is to raise enough money for 1,750 coats. That should cover it, no pun intended. Coats for Kids Day presented by the Advocates. If you could give any amount of money, $20 right now will put a brand new coat on a Washington State child in need. And by the way, coming up this Thursday, it is Coats for Kids Day.
That is correct.
Here on the Rocks. I'm going to try to get it done before that, but if you can, whatever you have. We know times are tough these days, man. So if you can just donate a few dollars, it would be greatly appreciated. All the details and how to donate at KISW.com. All right, it is our random question. Question 206-421-ROCK.
A bunch of comments came in. I was talking about that movie, Santa Buddies.
Yeah, you said you loved it.
I
recommend
hate
it
that
to
movie.
anybody.
I would not recommend it to my worst. And I was completely unaware of what this movie was. Apparently, a lot of people have seen this. So somebody says, "Hey, man, it's based off the Air Bud franchise from way back when." Now, I remember Air Bud.
Yeah, he hooped.
He hooped. So I guess these are his kids, his litter. I don't know. I cannot believe this is a franchise. It is a steaming bucket of S. It says, I think the real problem is that next time you just need to make a drinking game out of Santa Buddies. First of all, I don't disrespect alcohol that way. Someone else says, Thrill, the Buddies franchise is horrible. Yes. Someone else, it should be considered horror. Santa Buddies is a spinoff of the Air Buddies movies. They really need to stop making those god-awful movies. I agree. Someone else says, P.S. it got ripped off on the on-demand. It's free on Disney+. Santa Buddies.
Oh, you paid for that crap. You could have got it for free. You already paid for it.
It's not even worth free. Santa Buddies is effing terrible. They have a bunch of movies with these damn dogs, and of course, my daughter loves them all. To think this crap all spawned from Air Bud makes me hate them more. Someone else says, my kids watch them all. I want to puke. How many of these goddamn movies are there? And someone else says, my mother-in-law watches Hallmark Christmas movies nearly every waking hour. I'll trade you.
I would take a Hallmark movie based on what you've told me about this movie.
I would take a movie. The caveat here is they watch the movies nearly every waking hour. So one day of Hallmark movies versus an hour 28. I might take the day of Hallmark movies because that I can make a drinking game. That I would laugh, even if it's not supposed to be comedic. Seriously, this Santa Buddies movie, if you're an adult, all it does is piss you off.
But also, you're dealing with your child. Whereas when you're dealing with an adult, who is it, the mom or the mother-in-law? Right. Like, look, I've watched terrible movies with my mom, but I'll straight up be like, this movie sucks. Like, you know that, right? But, like, you can't say that to your son, like, screw these dogs.
Oh, man.
This movie sucks.
I wanted to so bad. He kept laughing and smiling. I was like, what's your problem? Terrible. This is crap.
Why don't you go play video games?
Yeah, go back down to the basement, you son of a bitch. Stop being social. Ruining my vibe, man. And we literally just finished watching a football game. I'm on football mode, and then these little puppies are on there doing their stupid crap.
You should tell them, like, what does Kendrick say? Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
Hello, Lisa. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Lisa, welcome to the program. Random question. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing wonderful. Let's go with this one here. What would you say is the most expensive collection of anything you own or your most valuable possession?
Well, for sure the most expensive would be, so I have a hard time throwing losing scratch tickets away, so I tend to have a large collection of them.
A large collection of lottery scratch tickets? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I mean, ones that you've already lost?
Yes.
What do you do with them?
Check them eventually, and then, like, just in case I win a big amount, you can use them as a tax write-off.
All right, so you just keep them.
But these are scratch tickets that you've already lost, right?
Yeah, I know. You didn't say where it was the best kind of collection I had.
No. Listen, I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand.
I don't have any idea why I keep them.
How many do you think you have, or how tall is the stack?
Well, there's been over the years I've been able to get rid of them, but right now it's not probably that much right now. I'd say the size of the biggest Harry Potter book.
All right. Well, Mike was telling me in the office, because I'll play a scratch off every day, and he said, Mike, you talked to a dude, and he said, no matter what, always go and just scan your tickets, because there's a lot of times you might make an error, or you're not really paying attention, but it's worth the time.
For sure.
Right. I think
I actually scan them into the app.
All right, there you go.
Have you ever been wrong? Like, have you ever scanned one that you thought you lost and you're like, holy crap, I actually won?
It just happened to me the other day.
And how much did you win?
It was $5. There was one time that I won $25 that I didn't think I won.
What's the most you've won playing the lottery?
In one ticket, it would have been $100.
All right.
One.
Okay, that's not
one
bad.
time.
That's not bad.
It was a $20 ticket.
Do you have any possessions that you own where, let's say, yes, it's the fan. Real quick, we need $5,000. All right. Is there anything that you have in your home that could, work toward chunk that off a little bit? Do you have anything that you could sell that's worth something?
No, not particularly.
Okay. All right.
Unless you're in the lottery tickets.
My car. I have a car.
Sure. But, not a collection.
Right, exactly.
God, I remember years ago.
That's all right. You don't have to apologize.
Collect what you want, man. The Maryland Lottery, right? They're working with the station we're on, and we cover the Baltimore Ravens. And so, Buddy, what was his name, Miles? Do you remember him?
Oh,
he ran the Maryland State Lottery. Real nice guy.
Rugo or
something. But this guy, he and I would team up, and then he would just walk through all of the tailgates and give away free scratch-off tickets. So you never found a tailgate that turned him down, right?
Right.
And every once in a while, someone won like $20 or $10, whatever it was. But people are appreciative, and we would just keep walking through. Well, at the time, the station's not paying me anything. This is just part of what I have to do. Buddy Rugo. And he and I got along well, so we'd walk around, we'd sip beers, kind of party with people. But I remember he handed a scratcher off to this group of people, and there was a chick named Tammy. I always remember her. We'd see her at least once a week. She always had good Jello shots. Now, you're not supposed to drink on the job, but I don't care. So I would drink on the job, do her Jello shots. And she'd put some off to the side for us. But Buddy goes over there, I introduce him, and Buddy's like, hey, have yourself a ticket. And we're walking away, and this woman won $2,500. And I remember hearing her yell that. She was really excited. And I just wanted to strangle her.
Right.
You're supposed to spread cheer and joy, but I'm not feeling it when I hear people like all of these people are winning money.
There was and I've told this story, but there was a contest years ago the Maryland Lottery had for a scratch-off.
All right.
Where you got like I can't remember, it was $1,000, might have been $1,000 a week.
Every week for the rest of your life?
For the rest of your life, right? So there was a guy that worked in my mom's building who came into this bar, like it was a crappy bar, right? And he had like a high, scratchy voice. Steve, I won't say his last name, but he was that guy. Like kind of that guy when you go, he's still alive? And you're like,
okay,
shocked.
wow, shocking.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
guy,
Totally.
right? So this guy won. They both got scratch-offs. That guy got it right in front of him. When this guy came in, for years, Steve would stand behind him and just scream, $1,000 a week for life. And the guy would just get so annoyed. He stopped coming to the bars. He's, look, I won. You lost.
Right.
Like, what do you want me to
Jesus, what do
say?
you want me to
But
tell
I mean,
you?
right. It's that same frustration level of like, I was a ticket away.
And don't tell people how much money I'm getting.
And not that anything that I have in my collection of stuff do I really believe is worth money.
Mm-hmm.
I think the things that I think would be worth money are not. And then there would be something that would be worth something that I'm not aware of. So I've got probably, I don't know, a few hundred albums, right?
Sure.
I'll take out a Dark Side of the Moon or something. You know things that are supposedly value. The first pressing of the Guns N' Roses album.
Was it first pressing of the second?
All this other stuff. And maybe that's not the one that's valuable. Maybe it's like Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass Band. Dude, this is one of the first 50 you ever produced. And
I hope so. 'Cause my dad gave me two of them.
Yeah, I had no idea. You know what I mean? Oh, but your mom signed her name on the back. So that's going to take all the, there's always going to be some crap. Same with baseball cards. Like, I've got a bunch of them. I just don't, I used to buy
But they
sets.
became meaningless because everyone, when word got out that these things might be, an investment for the future, and you've said this before, in that moment, within 1 year, everyone who kind of collected baseball cards would just buy the full set from Top or Fleer.
That's what I've got.
But then the price dropped because everyone had the cards.
But I don't know if there's a rookie card in there worth any money. I just don't know. You know what I mean? So, as far as collecting
My brother had a Pete Rose rookie card for years, and there's a point where it's worth a lot of money. Then Pete Rose went Pete Rose, and the price just,
I think it's
the bottom fell.
I think it's 1968 or 1969.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, Johnny Bench, a couple other
The reason we asked what's the most expensive collection
big red machine.
of anything you own and the most valuable possession, music publishing has become increasingly lucrative in recent years, especially in light of the pandemic that has halted live performances. A lot of people are selling off their catalogs. And they're selling them off to music companies. As you recall, this happened to Taylor Swift. I do not believe that was her wishes.
No, she did not
own
sell
it.
it off.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But it was her catalog.
It was her catalog,
Now,
right.
These are catalogs that are owned by the artist. So Bob Dylan, he basically just sold his catalog, which encompasses more than 600 songs over 60 years.
Does he include the lyrics?
They say that this is a landmark agreement. I believe you get it all. It's you get the music, you get the lyrics, you get the whole deal. Financial terms not disclosed on that one, but they believe, the New York Times, it's estimated that they paid Bob over $300 million.
I do not think Bob Dylan was particularly excellent. I know you're not supposed to say that, but I understand that his music catalog could go for quite a bit. But I read that today, and my first thought was, ooh, prepare yourself to start hearing Bob Dylan songs in every other TV commercial.
He's 79 years. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, based on that, $300 million, that is 60 years worth of work. Stevie Nicks just sold her entire music catalog, including her solo stuff and things that she had written with Fleetwood Mac. What do you think the price tag on that is? And we know how powerful Fleetwood Mac can be based on the TikTok video of the guy drinking the cranberry juice.
I'll say
Dream
80 million.
song, you know
80
what I mean?
million.
That guy alone scored off that. 80 million?
That's my guess.
She got 100 million.
Okay. Yeah.
Deal includes Edge of 17, Landslide, Dreams, but back to more commercials and back to... They just basically said this. The music is exceptional, and it's well known, but it's still very under-commercialized and under-marketed. So
what that means is there's not enough Cadillac commercials with Gold Dust Woman on it. I mean,
that basically...
Look, it's fine. I don't care, but it's just a weird thing because you go your entire life without hearing particular artists, and then all at once it happens. So, Zeppelin for years, you never heard anything from Zeppelin on TV commercials, and I want to say it was Cadillac.
It was
back
Cadillac.
rock and roll. And people could not believe it. Then there's bands like Twisted Sister who understand, we don't really have a legacy, so yeah, we're going to go ahead, and so we're not going to take it to a tampon commercial.
Yeah.
But plus, also, some of those bands, when they do this, generally they're older.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a cash grab, number one. But number two is, it introduces a whole new audience.
Sure.
I didn't really know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we just touched hands. That's
Very.
weird.
Oh, man. The spirit of Christmas is continuing. Look at you guys.
Oh, isn't that sweet? No, but Ted's right. And Fleetwood Mac, they haven't been on tour. They broke up with Lindsey Buckingham. They've got a couple other guys that are in there.
But they
Neil
have
Finn
music that
else.
I wouldn't look, if I had to sit down with my kids, right, and not necessarily Fleetwood Mac, there's bands I like, the people know, Fishbone, whatever. Sit down, the kids can dig it, but they don't deserve Bob Dylan. They didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly. But I'm just thinking the way things go in life. You know what I mean? Fleetwood Mac really hasn't done a lot. They went on tour before the pandemic.
They still hate each other.
Look, I'm a Mac fan.
Fleetwood Mac's good. They kicked the guy out that they didn't like. Lindsey Buckingham, who you just saw, and you thought he's great. Mm-hmm. They replaced him with Vince Gill, or maybe that was the Eagles. I can't remember. But either way, they go out on tour and do their thing. Now, this year, they made more money than they have in the last decade because some dude had his truck break down on the side of the road. He was a mile away from work, and he decided to video himself drinking his cran apple juice while skateboarding the rest of the way. That is how Fleetwood Mac sold more copies of their music this year than they have in a decade. I mean, think about that. I mean, you didn't do jack crap. Some dude's truck broke down. Next thing you know, you're raking in millions. That's insane.
But at least it was a good song.
Yeah.
Not every man can open.
I'm not saying, they could go to marketing like, how do we get our catalog out there? How do we do this? What can we do? Can we sell online? Can we sell T-shirts?
But again, like I said, with Fleetwood Mac, I'd get it. You want to use the commercials, blah, blah, blah. Bob Dylan, I'm just like, what are you advertising that you use a Bob Dylan song? A lot of times people have covered Bob Dylan songs to be like those versions much better. All Along the Watchtower, something like
Maybe
that.
Maybe a mattress company. Like, lay.
I mean, I think there's a natural one.
What?
Mo Liquor.
For Bob Dylan?
There's a Mo Liquor called Hurricane.
There you go. Bob Dylan slinging Mo Liquor.
I'm Reuben Carter.
I mean, I'm not sure the message is going to be. You're right. The message.
Probably not the same, but still.
I spent a lot of time in jail. Hi. For no reason. I'm Reuben Carter.
Now I kick back and relax. But can you imagine Bob Dylan, and then here comes a Hurricane 40 sliding across. It's like, damn, Dylan.
Yeah, Bob.
Sold out. Wow. You sold out bad, Bob.
How did they get Billy Williams to join?
I'm Billy D. I don't know what this fool's saying either, but I know he likes Hurricane.
You don't see a lot of malt liquor commercials, period.
No, not anymore.
You don't, and if you do, I would think Bob Dylan is one of the last artists on the list that they would consider. And look, if you like him, good for you. I don't dislike him. I'm 100% indifferent to him.
Right.
I know he's important to Americana, but every time I hear one of his songs, I'm like, well, what is it about this song that's so awesome? I feel like he writes songs that other people will cover later. So Bob Dylan's collection to me is one giant demo tape. For other bands, I can understand what the hell he's saying and go, oh, if he did it right, again, All Along the Watchtower, it would have sounded like this.
Right. But back in the 70s, they got the right people to sell the right stuff.
Like what?
Well, Billy D. Williams
from
like hell. Bub Phillips was a spokesperson for Skull.
Right.
He come on like craps, just running down there. Let's go. You like go too. I mean,
I don't know that anyone's better than Billy D. from Malt Liquor.
I was gonna say, as a kid, I was obsessed with Colt 45. Remember when you used to drive into Baltimore and there was
a big sign for Colt 45.
Oh my God, because Billy D. was so cool.
He was really.
I mean, I didn't even know he was an actor. It's just like he was the Colt 45 guy.
I didn't know he was an actor, and my parents take me to see The Empire Strikes Back. I don't know, Lando Calrissian shows up, right? So like these doors open, there's Lando, and I'm like, that's the Colt 45 dude. My parents are like, he's other things as well.
Yeah, but Lando Calrissian.
But he was so cool in those commercials.
Yeah, he went from beer to space brother. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I was at a wedding
space
and
brother.
bought a 6-pack of Colt 45 as we always joke about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, remember how great this is? And I swear to God, we got wasted, and I think we drank maybe 2 of them.
It is not a good beer. Billy D is better than the beer. Hey, by the way, Bob Dylan apparently has an alcohol line. Heaven's Door. Had no idea. I'm curious. When you get drunk enough, you sound like me.
This stuff will make you sound like
Random.
More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.